Trial is going on right now in a federal court to decide if those recorded phone calls at the South Bend Police Department were done legally. Some players in the case have alleged that the recordings contain disturbing comments potentially made by officers. WSBT's Diane has been covering the trial all day long. She joins us now live from outside that courthouse. And good evening, Diane. You know, some really interesting new details. Well, they've come out so far in this trial, and you can tell us more about that tonight.
Yeah, some really interesting new information about how this whole thing started. How could you have a line into the police department that nobody knew was being recorded? Well, now we know the answer to that question. Clear back in the mid-2000s, around 2004, that's when Thomas Fouts was the police chief here in South Bend. There were decisions made that several officers, by their own agreement, decided to have their lines recorded. Well, the years wear on, officers get promoted, they change offices, they change phone extensions, and people just forget, oh yeah, this one line is being recorded. It's not then until 2011 that it's discovered by accident that one of those lines being recorded belongs to an officer who's using a phone who he has no idea that his line is being tapped, has never agreed to it. And so that's where this whole thing started, really some 7 years before the discovery was made and 10 years ago from where we're at today.
And who are the parties arguing in this case?
It's kind of complicated. In some respects, you've got South Bend versus South Bend. You've got the South Bend Common Council. They and they alone are arguing that they want the contents of these tapes to be heard. They say that basically these tapes were made during the course of regular police business. It is legal under the Federal Wiretap Act, and thus we all should be able to hear what's on those tapes. Then you've got an attorney for those 4 officers who you may recall who filed suit over this, as well as the city of South Bend. They are both arguing this is in violation of the federal wiretap law. The recordings were made illegally. They said the department didn't have any kind of training manual or protocol to govern this sort of thing. They say it was just a big mistake. And if it resulted from a mistake, then we, as the public, should never be able to hear the contents of these tapes.
You know, Diane, we've waited quite a while to get to the point that we're at right now. How long is everything now expected to last?
Well, bear in mind, all that's getting decided here is whether or not those tapes were made legally. And based on the judge's decision, then that dictates what happens next. Testimony is still going on right now. In fact, just between when I spoke with you live at 5 and right now, Daryl Boykins, former South Bend police chief who got demoted over this, he was in testifying. Some of the biggest fireworks of the day in the courtroom during some of those exchanges. But we do expect this trial to wrap up tomorrow. When the judge will render his decision, however, is another matter, and there's simply no timetable on that. So we continue to wait.
We do. Okay, Diane, I know you'll keep us updated. Thank you so much.
Will do.
County Metro